Hello, students. A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you will be fine at home. So, now today we are going to start the new unit, that is unit number 2, and the topic is transducer. So, if I am talking about the topic is transducer, but the subtopic are so many. So, as per my lecture, I'll tell you about the subtopics. But before the subject, that is power system instrumentation. So, in my previous lectures, I earlier told you that the power system instrumentation is basically the main subject, or we can say the subject of power system in electrical engineering. And instrumentation word is there. Basically, we want to convert one form of energy to another, and we have to measure it. Basically, what we have to do, we have to measure the thing. And if I want to measure the thing, though we have to need an instrument, and through that instrument the word came instrumentation. So the instrumentation and the unit 1 is totally deals with the error, which I earlier told you in my previous lectures. So error, so many errors we have already have so many errors: gross error, random error, systematical error, instrumental error, so many errors. And if we want to calculate them, then we have certain methods. In my previous lecture I told you about the standard deviation. So standard deviation we can apply. So in continuation with the previous lecture, this is the unit number 2 of this power system instrumentation, and sometimes we called as PSI in our electrical engineering curriculum, basically curriculum of our university. Okay, and the code is given, that is double E for the electrical engineering. 3 denotes the third year, and one is the code. And today we are starting the new unit, that is the unit number 2, which means transducer. And the word transducer is basically came from transmission, or basically the conversion, changing, we can say. So transducer and transducer are playing a very important role nowadays. For example, if I am taking an example like a thermometer. Thermometer is basically do what? In thermometer basically what we do? In thermometer basically what we do? In thermometer, if I'm talking about the previous thermometers means what? The previous thermometers are basically having mercury. Nowadays we are being using digital. Previous and the ancient and modern means, the ancient technology was there. There is a mercury which is fitted at the top, and that expand which gives you the temperature basically. But nowadays we are using what? We are using digital. In this digital we use battery system. We having a cell which gives power to that. But the one thing is there, my dear student. If I'm talking about the mercury, in mercury what happens, we use to measure the temperature. If I want to use the measure the temperature, if I want to measure the temperature, so in temperature what we have to do, we just put basically the temperature in your mouth, and that basically, due to the effect of temperature, the mercury expands and gives you the reading. That is, for example, 98.3 is the degree centigrade of Fahrenheit, and 101, 100, it gives you the temperature if you're having a fever, if you're having a higher temperature of your body. So what, through which means you are basically uh, evaluating that the expansion of mercury gives you the reading, gives you the displacement basically. So we can say we are converting the temperature into displacement. Now what we are going to do, my dear student, we are basically converting that displacement of mercury into the temperature reading. Means through displacement we can say, now I am getting, that is the degrees 101, 102, 100, 98. So that displacement of mercury means expansion of mercury gives you the reading. So that is again a part of transducer. Means one form of energy to the another form, temperature converted into the displacement, and it gives you the temperature. So one form to the another, that is the transducer. And the transducer is also important part, because nowadays we want to convert one form of signal to the another form. Okay, we convert electronic signal, basically we convert frequency, we convert analog to digital, digital to analog signals. So we need something, so that is medium, that media or medium basically, that coupling, we can say a coupled thing, that is transducer. A coupled element, or we can say a particle, or a element, or a device which basically converting from one form to another, that is the transducer. I hope you understand. Now objectives of my today's lecture, and this lecture is that help the learner means student to understand the basics of transducer. Basics of transducer. Basically basics. First, if I don't know what is transducer, how this thermometer works, then why can we purchase the thermometer? Thermometer we purchase for the market. Nowadays it is very useful to us because we are in the pandemic situation. So in pandemic the temperature, or we can say the thermometer, digital thermometer, not analog. The previous technology was analog, but the modern technology is digital. So why it is very necessary to basically measure the temperature of your body? Okay, it is one basic symptom of why fever is a basic symptom of corona or COVID-19. So we can say the thing is that to learn the basics, to understand the basics of transducer. Now, second, understand the characteristic and types of transducer. Now, first, we have basically I categorize two parts of this lecture. First, the basics of transducer. Basics of transducer means which type of transducer we have, what are the basic, which technology we are using in the transducer. That is the basics. Now, if I am talking about the characteristic, so what characteristic we want in a transducer, which type of characteristic we have, so that is the characteristic and types of transducer. And types is also there. So many things are there. So this my first lecture tell you about the types and basics and characteristics. Later on my next lectures or next topics, next basically my lectures, I cover all the subtopics with the types, which type we have, how can we use it, where we use it, applications, merits, demerits. Okay, these all are. So move on. Now transducer. What is transducer? If I'm talking about the transducer, my dear student, so what is transducer is basically, so transducer is a device that converts one form of energy to another. Means I am using a device which basically doing what? It's converting one form of energy to the another. Means one form is there, one form may be mechanical, and converting to the another form, that is electrical. So a device, a basically medium, a element, a part which basically converts one form of energy to the another. One form is there. Previously I took an example, that is the thermometer. Thermometer is doing what? Measure the temperature, expand the basically the mercury which is fitted in the top or tip, that expands, give you the temperature reading. What basically what we are doing there? We are basically converting, basically doing what? Displacement converting to temperature. That expansion of the mercury, that is the displacement. Why displacement? Because it expand, it's basically in the small part, but now it's expand to the 100 degree centigrade or whatever it is. Okay, so energy types include both are not limited to, both are not limited to means electrical, mechanical, electromagnetic, chemical, acoustic, and thermal energy. So these type of energy we can convert into which type you want. Means electrical to mechanical, electromagnetic to magnetic or electrical, chemical to electrical, acoustic to electrical, thermal to electrical, mechanical to thermal, mechanical to chemical, whatever, mechanical to electromagnetic. So whatever we can say, so it is a basic thing, it is a device which is very useful, and it is an element which is very useful to convert one form, that is would be in form of electrical, mechanical and whatever, and convert it to another may be electrical, mechanical, electromagnetic, acoustic and all these. So usually a transducer converts a signal in one form of energy to the signal in another. So if I'm talking about these signals, nowadays we always used to say signals. We always use word signals. So they basically transducer convert what? Signal in one form of energy to the another signal. Means one form of energy signal to the another form of energy signal. So I hope you understand this thing. Now next, different types of transducer. So one thing is there, active and passive. Active and passive. Now, if I'm talking about active and passive, so active and passive means, active means I do directly. Okay, a passive I basically active thing directly converting. In another way, what I am saying here can also called as primary, but active is basically these do not need any external power source. For example, piezoelectric transducer, etc. Now, If we need an external power source, that we can't say it is an active transducer. Means we need another thing to operate this thing. Okay, we need another thing to operate this thing. For example, piezoelectric crystal. Now, piezoelectric crystal word is there. It converts force into electrical energy directly. Means if we apply force on the piezoelectric crystal, what happens? It directly gives you the electrical power. So that is the another transducer part or transducer. But it is active. Active means directly it is doing. Whenever we apply a force on it, it directly converts to electrical power. But if we need a certain source to apply to work to on it, then it is not an active transducer. So active transducer is what? We basically no need of any source, no need of anything extra, directly converting. Apply force on it, directly convert into electrical. So example I have taken here, that is piezoelectric transducer. So I hope you understand. Second, passive transducer. These need an external power source, for example, potentiometer, strain gauge. Now, these need an external power source. The transducer which need an external power source to operate, to work, basically, they comes in the category of passive transducer. Means you need one thing to operate the another. We can say in another way. You need one thing to operate another thing. That is the passive transducer. In an active transducer, we need any and nothing. We need nothing, and we can directly convert into the another form. That example was piezoelectric crystal. But here the example is potentiometer to measure the resistance, to measure the displacement. Okay, potentiometer we do what? Measure the distance. Strain gauge is also there, an example. So these are the passive transducer. So two types of transducer are active and passive. Active need no external source, directly converting what you want, which form you want, it directly convert into. Passive transducer, they need an external source, they dependent on something and convert into. So dependency shows the passiveness and non-dependency shows the activeness. Okay, understand? So for example, I gave you an I will give a GA. Okay, GA means graded assignment. Some student do this. I give same GA. One student do it, then another one also do it with the help of that one. So that is the passiveness. But you did yourself by yourself. Okay, that is the activeness. So in activeness, no another thing you need, no external source you need. But in passive, you need an external source. You need another thing to operate that thing. I hope you understand. Now move forward. Transducer according to transaction principle. Transaction means transforming from one form to the another form. From one part to the another, that is the one form, that may be the electrical, that may be the chemical, that may be the mechanical, that may be the acoustic, that may be the electromagnetic, that may be the thermal. So as per the transaction principle, we can classify the transducer in different parts. First is the capacitive transducer. Now, capacitive word comes from capacitor. We know the capacitive effect. So that effect is basically done by the capacitive transducer. So we have the capacitive transducers convert into it. Okay. So later on, I'll tell you what is capacitive transducer and what are the examples for capacitive transducer. But in this my lecture, I uh, basically focusing on the basics behind the transducer and the classification behind the transducer, classification of transducer, the characteristics which we want in a transducer. I'm focusing, basically, the focusing on these things in my this lecture because my objective of this lecture is this. Okay. Now, second is electromagnetic transducer. Now, electromagnetic transducer, you all know, electromagnetic is there, electrical to magnetic or magnetic to electrical. Okay, so electromagnetic transducer behaving like this. Okay, converting one form to the another form. I am giving an example. For example, motor. Motor do what? Motor basically convert electrical power into the mechanical power. So one form of energy electrical. Now converting into the mechanical. Electrical means we have voltage, current, power, energy, etc. Now we are converting into the torque, rotation, medium, the medium or the we can say the middle path, or we can say the uh, coupling circuit we require, that is the magnetic. So electromagnetic is inductive transducer. So inductive effect we know, they are basically the induction effect or inductive effect. So on the basis of these inductive effect, we can make the inductive transducer. Okay, the inductive transducer. I hope you just understand about this thing. Now piezoelectric transducer. So I gave an example of piezoelectric transducer just before. That piezoelectric transducer basically convert force into the electrical. So piezoelectric. Okay. Now photovoltaic effect. Now photovoltaic effect tells you what? On the basis of this, we can make transducer. Photovoltaic effect is what? When photos basically rays on a solar cell, on a basically cells, or we can say towards the that ions basically creates what? The current flows from one side to another. Means photons affected, photo ions affected. In the solar, we having so many photo ions. We basically expect, or basically we basically fall that ions on the solar cell. What happens? The current will start flow. So that is photovoltaic type. So we can use the photovoltaic transducer. I hope these are the primary we having two, active and passive. Active need what? Need nothing, need no dependency, need no external source. Passive, we need dependency, we need some external source to operate it. Inductive, now we having these transaction principle, capacitive, capacitance phenomena we use, electromagnetic transducer, electrical and magnetic coupling, or the coupling thing is inductive transducer. We have the inductive phenomena, piezoelectric, force into current, or basically the electric, photovoltaic, photons converted into the basically the electric current. So photovoltaic effect is there. So photovoltaic transducer. So later on I'll tell you one by one how can we make this type of transducer we have. So move forward. Capacitive transducer. Now capacitive transducer basically, here the measured is converted into change in capacitance. Now see here, if I am changing the capacitance, now in capacitor what we have? We have two parallel plates. In the between that parallel plates we have the ions, positive ions and negative ions. Means capacitor stores the electrical power. The energy which stores in the capacitor is in the form of electric energy. Charges, ions we have. So capacitance is basically what? Converted into change in capacitance. So a change in capacitance occurs either by changing the distance between the two plates or by changing the dielectric. So we having what? Now if I'm talking about the capacitor. So in capacitor we having two parallel plates like this, similar to this. In the between parallel plates we having some dielectric. Positive ions, negative ions and the dielectric. So what we have to do? We have to push the plates like this. We have to move the plates like this. Or we have to move the dielectric which is between the plate like this. Okay, so what happened? We are displacing it. We are basically changing the distance between it. So what happens? We also call this transducer. Okay, so we are changing the capacitance. So how can we are changing the capacitance, my dear student? One thing is the one plate, then two plates. Parallel plates behave like a capacitor. Between the parallel plates, we having what? Dielectric. Now, if I am moving the plates, we can change the direction or by changing the dielectric between it. So this is shown by my diagram here. This is the dielectric we are changing, or either the changing the distance. Okay, so this is your capacitor transducer. Next, if I am talking about the electromagnetic transducer. Now, electromagnetic transducer is already given, or it's basically we can say by changing the magnetic field, we can introduce an electrical field. It is law which is given by Faraday. That is Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. So in this, what happened? In electromagnetic transition, the measurement is converted to voltage. The measurement is converted to the voltage. Means in electromagnetic transition, the measurement is converted into voltage induced in a conductor by change in a magnetic flux in absence of excitation. In absence of excitation. If I am a magnetic field, now Faraday law basically states you that when we change the flux linkage, when we change the flux linkage, when we vary the flux linkage, due to that there will be an induction of an EMF. Means if I am changing the basically flux linkage, what will happen? I'm getting the EMF. And if circuit is closed, that EMF is converted into what, my dear student? That EMF is converted into the what? Current. So current. So through this phenomena, we can use the electromagnetic transducer. Okay, in absence of excitation. Now the electromagnetic transducer are self-generating active transducer. It is called as self-generating active transducer. Why? Directly they are converting into the electrical. Magnetic field variation converted into the electrical field. So directly converting into the another form. Means variation is there, displacement is there, moving is there, we can say, and converting into directly into the electrical field. So it is what? It is behave like an active transducer. Okay. The motion between a piece of magnet and an electromagnet is responsible for change in flux. Now see here, it is shown by you by the Faraday law. We having this magnetic field and that is electromagnet and this is the magnet. If I am wearing it, what will happen? The flux will change because this is we are making the electromagnet and this is the permanent magnet we already have. So this make a change in flux. So I hope you understand. Now next, inductance transducer. Now if I am talking about the inductance transducer, or we can say in inductive transaction. So transducer having the what? Transducer having what, my dear student? Transducer having what? In inductive transducer, in inductive transaction, the measurand is converted into the change in the self-inductance. The measurand is converted into the change in self-inductance of a single coil. We having a single coil. Now, if I'm changing the inductance means turns we have. So, if I'm changing the inductance of a single coil, it is achieved by the displacing the core of coil that is attached to a mechanical sensing element. If I'm attaching the core, I am, we can say, if I move the core, if I am moving the core, displacing the core of coil that is attached to a mechanical sensing element, through this variation or through this variability, or we can say the displacement of that, what will happen? We having changes. So in inductive transaction, the measurand is converted into a change in the self inductance of a single coil. Single coil self inductance we can change. Okay, converted to change of self inductance of a single coil. It is achieved by displacing the core. Now I am having a core and we are bound a winding on it. Core is there, we wind up bounding it. So what we have to do? We have to place this core. So we are having a displacement, and that is attached to the mechanical sensing element. So we are converting into another. Now piezoelectric transducer. In piezoelectric induction, or we can say transducer, the measuring is converted into a change in electrostatic charge Q or voltage V generated by crystal when it is magnetically stressed. Now piezoelectric crystal we have easily available in the market. In that piezoelectric crystal, what we have to do, my dear student, we can directly do what? We can just apply a force on it. We can just push it. We can mechanically stress it. What will happen? You will find a voltage induced in it. We found a voltage induced in it. So we can generate alternate energy with the help of this piezoelectric crystal. These piezoelectric crystal, we can, if we apply a force on it, we make a speed breaker nowadays in a project. In our projects, our student made some projects having piezoelectric crystal formation. Means if a something magnetically stressing that crystal, what will happen? It convert directly into the electrical part, electrical field. So that is piezoelectric transducer. Next is your photovoltaic transducers. Now, in the photovoltaic transition, basically we take an example of solar cell, a solar panel. We can also say that in solar panel, what happens? We directly just put our solar panel towards the solar rays. That solar rays directly meet with that cell and convert into electrical power. Okay. So in photovoltaic transition, the measured is converted to the voltage generated. The measured is directly converted to the voltage generated, or we can say we generate a voltage there. The photovoltaic transition, the measured is converted to the voltage generated. Which type of voltage we have converted into that one. Okay. When the junction between dissimilar metal is illuminated, when what happens? When the basically junction between dissimilar material is illuminated, okay, then this will happen. Okay, I hope you understand. Now next we have analog and digital transducers. analog and digital transducer. So my dear student, analog and digital transducer, first analog transducers. These transducer convert the input quantity into an analog output. Means these two transducer doing what? These transducer convert the input quantity into an analog output, which is a continuous function of time, which is a basically continuous function of time, we can say. Thus, a strain gauge, linear variable differential transformer, we have LVDT, thermocouple, or a thermistor may be called as analog transducer. Now, in the ancient time, we use analog system. I gave an example of analog thermometer. Nowadays, we are using digital thermometer that the accuracy is higher compared to the analog system. In analog, we can say the previous thermometer we have in displacement system. Now we have a digital watch system and analog watch system. In analog, we have a pointer needle that moves, give you the time. In digital, it gives you the form in the form of digit and accuracy with the accuracy. So we can also call as analog and digital transducer. So in analog transducers, convert the input quantity into an analog output. So if I want to convert into the which form? Analog output, which is a continuous function of time. Continuous function of time we have. Thus, a strain gauge, an LVDT, a thermocouple, or a thermistor may be called as analog transducer. If we want to categorize, if we want to classify the analog transducer, so we can say we having a strain gauge. So later on I'll tell you about the strain gauge also. Linear variable differential transformer is also there. Transducer, you can say. A thermocouple is there. Thermocoupler. Couple means a thermal, I use the word for temperature, or a thermistor. So many we can say the temperature resistors are there. So these are basically called as analog transducer, as they give an output which is continuous function of time. This is giving you what? This is giving the output which is what? Continuous function of time. We are having the continuously function of time we have. Nextly, we have digital transducers. These transducers convert the input quantity into an electrical output, which is in the form of pulse, and its output is represented by 0 and 1. Now, if I'm talking about my dear student digital, so I'm talking about the binary. And in binary language, we have only 0 and 1. If we having low signal, we always called as 0. If having the high signal, we called as 1. So 0 and 1. So we can say we always represent in the form of digital. So output is always represented by in the form of digital electrical output. So that transducer convert the input quantity into an electrical output, which is in the form of pulses. Which is in the form of what? Pulses. And its output is represented by 0 and 1. So I hope you understand. Now, primary or secondary transducer. So first, active and passive. Active and passive means we having the active part. Active part means directly converting without any external source. We can directly convert into one form to the another form. Second, basically active, we I already told you. Then we having passive. Passive, we need an external source. Means we having three things. First, convert into the another. Then second part convert into the your required part. Means external source we need it. That is your second. Basically the passive part. Then as per the transduction, we can say capacitive, inductive, electromagnetic, piezoelectric, and photovoltaic. Five types are there. Then we having what? Analog and digital. Then we having analog and digital transducer. Now we having primary or secondary transducers. Now, if I am talking about the primary and secondary transducer, so some transducer contain the mechanical as well as electrical devices. Some transducer are in the form of mechanical or are in the form of electrical device. The mechanical device convert the physical quantity to be measured into mechanical quantity. Mechanical signal. Some mechanical devices are called as primary transducer. Such mechanical devices are called as what? Primary transducer. Means a physical quantity is directly given to you. You can directly convert into the mechanical. Okay. Means mechanical transducer is there. Now we called as transducer. So we give name as per their working. If some transducer converting the physical quantity into the electrical, we called as electrical transducer. Now some transducer converting the physical quantity directly into the mechanical, we call it as mechanical transducer. So if a mechanical transducer is there and directly that transducer converting the physical quantity whatever we have, which type of physical quantity we have, force, displacement, whatever. Okay. Now converting into the mechanical, that is your what? Primary transducer. That is your what? Primary transducer. Okay. Okay, understand? Now such mechanical devices are called primary because they deal with the physical quantity to be measured. They deal with the physical quantity which we have to measure directly. Now the electrical device that convert this mechanical signal into corresponding electrical signal, such electrical devices are known as secondary transducer. Okay. Now what we have to do? First we having the mechanical. Now I am taking an example, simple example. Right. I am having some force here. That force converting into the mechanical thing. Okay. Then we having that mechanical converting into the electrical. Means two steps are there. First, physical converted into the mechanical. That is your intermediate state. We having three states. First, primary, intermediate, that secondary. Okay. So intermediate we have necessary to convert to another form. That comes in the category of secondary transducer. Understand? So the electrical device then convert this mechanical signal into a corresponding electrical signal which you want. Such electrical devices are known as secondary transducer. So here we are having the Bourdon tube. It is moving by the pulley, that core is moving, and if displacement is there, it converts into the electric. Means electrical converted into the displacement. So later I'll tell you about the Bourdon tube and all this. So hope you understand this thing. So primary or secondary transducer. Primary directly converting into one form to the another. But if I'm talking about the secondary, my dear student, so secondary doing what? Secondary is doing what, my dear student? Secondary is basically first converting into the one form, then converting into the another form. So intermediate state we require. If we are requiring intermediate state in the transducer, we can call this primary, secondary transducer. If there will be no intermediate state, we are directly converting from one to another. That comes into category of primary transducer. So I hope you understand. Now move forward. Transducers and inverse transducer. Now transducer convert non-electrical quantity to the electrical quantity because we are studying this subject in electrical engineering. So lots we talk about electrical transducer. So that is why I written here. A transducer convert non-electrical quantity to the electrical quantity. So that is your what? That is your electrical transducer. Okay. So we lots talk about the electrical transducer later on in my lectures because this transducer are electrical transducer. Secondly, inverse transducer. Inverse. Understand about the inverse? Opposite of it. Reciprocal of it. Okay. Now inverse transducer convert electrical quantity to a non-electrical quantity. Means we having the electrical transducer in which we are converting the non-electrical quantity to the electrical quantity. But invert transducer do the opposite of it. Reciprocal of it. Okay. Inverse transducer convert electrical quantity to a non-electrical quantity. We have voltage, current, and some other, but now we are converting into the displacement. So that is the non-electrical quantity. So we can say it is a inverse transducer. So a piezoelectric crystal as an inverse transducer, when a voltage is applied across its surface, it changes dimension, causes a mechanical displacement. Now see, piezoelectrical crystal work for both sides, transducer and inverse transducer. If we apply force on it, it creates the voltage supply. But if we apply the voltage on it, it changes dimension. Means mechanical displacement is there. So that is what? That is the inverse transducer. So transducer and invert transducer we called as piezoelectric crystal. Okay. And if we talk about a transducer, then again a piezoelectric transducer we have. So I am talking about the transducer means I am talking about the electrical transducer because we are studying the our subject in electrical engineering. And if I am talking about the transducer, so that transducer is totally based on the electrical. So in that, what we are going to do, we are basically converting the non-electrical quantity to the electrical quantity. Non-electrical quantity to the electrical quantity. Okay, that is your electrical transducer. But if I am not doing this thing, I am doing the opposite of it. Means electrical quantity we applied and we are converting to non-electrical quantity. That is the inverse transducer. So I hope you understand. Now, again repeating one thing. Okay, understand about this thing: active and passive. Active means no supply needed. Passive, needed supply. As per the transaction, capacitive, inductive, electromagnetic, okay, piezoelectric and photovoltaic we have. Then we having analog and digital in the form which we represent. Then we having what? Primary, directly converting, secondary, needed, intermediate state. That is secondary transducer. Then we having the transducer and inverse transducer. Transducer and inverse. Transducer converting into one form to another, and inverse opposite of it, converting electrical quantity into the non-electrical quantity. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, main thing, what we want something. Now, I'm taking an example. If you want to purchase a new mobile, a smart mobile, a Android mobile, because iPhone are very costly nowadays. You can purchase, if you afford it, then you can easily purchase it. So in my view, if you want to purchase an Android or smart mobile of good features, we can say the things we have. So you go for the good quality camera, good speed means RAM and MSS memory, read-only memory, ROM means storage. RAM should be higher, the processor having higher frequency, gigahertz, work on it. So these are the some features. So related to that one, we have some characteristics of transducer, which we have to follow, which we have to think of it. Why we think of it? Because we need certain characteristic in a transducer. We want to work a transducer within that limit. We want that characteristic should be having in the transducer. Okay, first, accuracy. Now everything, if I want to tell you in my first unit, which I taught you actually, in my first unit I told you this thing, that the accuracy and precision. If I am talking about the reading, so reading basically follow the accuracy and precision. So if I am having the accuracy and precision, so accuracy, what is it? So accuracy is defined as the closeness with which the reading approaches. Means a set standard value is there. So we are reaching to that one, or ideal value or true value of the variable being measured. So I fix that in transducer. I'm converting. I want 240 volt with the, for example, some displacement. I having some displacement. That displacement will give you the 240 volt electrical input in the form of voltage. The accuracy basically depends on that we will always have the value nearer or closeness or closing to 240. That is the accuracy. But I am not getting it, then there will be no accuracy. So transducer should have this type of characteristic. That is what? That is accuracy. And the accuracy word is came from accurate. Accurate means the accurate we have. So accuracy will be there, accurate will be there. I hope you understand this thing. Now, second is repeatability. The repeatability means the output of the transducer must be exactly the same under same environmental condition when same quantity is applied at input repeatedly. Now, repeatedly means, for example, I give certain force. I apply some Newton meter force on it, Newton meter torque applied on it. That torque will convert into the electrical power, for example. Same amount, same environment condition, if I repeat, the reading will not change. The reading will get the same. That comes in the characteristic of repeatability. Means the word came from repeat. So if I am repeating my observations, my uh, we can say the measurement, we will get the same output. Otherwise, the transducer does not have a good characteristic if it give you the false reading at every time, wrong reading at every time, abrupt reading at every time, worse readings, which we don't want. Okay. Now sensitivity. The transducer must be sensitive enough to produce detectable output. Which output you want, detectable output, that should be given or basically produced by the transducer. That comes the sensitivity. That is the part of what? That is the part of sensitivity. So sensitivity is basically the transducer must be sensitive enough to produce detectable output. This type of output you have, so you have to produce detectable output. I hope you understand this thing. Size. Size is very important nowadays. If it is a very huge size, it is similar to your electrical machine, or we can say big size. It is size of a room. It is the size of a, we can say, a car. It is of size of that. So what happens? We can't easy to first hold it, first basically place it, and first work on it. Place it, maintain it, work on it. How we do it? So size matters. So the size of transducer should have smallest possible, compact, robust, and smallest size will be there. Shape with minimal weight and volume. Weight will be lesser. If it is of big size, car having the large volume and having the high weight, large weight. So similar to that, it got what? So minimal weight with volume. Minimal volume and minimal weight means minimum weight and minimum volume. Now, this will make the measurement system very compact. This will make the measurement system very compact, with the very small. You can easily handle it, you can easily place it, you can easily maintain it, you can easily we can say apply it wherever you want. So the size should be small. Dynamic range. The dynamic word basically variable with the time, variable as per your requirement. So dynamic range will be there. So for a transducer, the operating range should be wide. The operating range should be higher. We can work in a wide range. So dynamic range will be there. Okay. So it can be used over a wide range of measurement conditions. Wherever you want, you can use it over the wide range. So the characteristics are accuracy. Accurate should be repeat. If I am repeating the readings by day, repeating, and repeating, so on. So if I am getting the same result, so it is the correctest. Sensitivity, it should be highly sensitive. The word sensitivity came from sensitiveness, sensitive. So it produces the detectable output. Otherwise, if it is not detectable output, then why we use it? How we use it? If we are not giving you the actual output, the desirable output, that output which you want, if it is not giving by that one, then it is not sensitive. Size. So size also matters. It should be a it should be in size of very compact. Otherwise, what will happen? If it is not in the size of compact, it is very high volume, high weight. So you can't place it, you can't maintain it, you can't use it wherever you want. So size will be small, compact. Dynamic range. Range should be wide. No limits are there that I can work for 5 minutes. The transducer will work for 4 hours only with room temperature. No, you have the wide range. You can work for higher level, high pressure, lower pressure, intermediate pressure. So depend. So I hope you understand about the characteristic. Now, transducer selection. Now, how can we select the transducer, my dear student? If I want to purchase a transducer from market, so I have to select, I have to use. If I want a transducer which convert mechanical into electrical, so I have to uh, certain things keep in my mind, keep in your mind. You have to do first the loading effect. First is what? The loading effect. First is what, my dear student? The loading effect. Loading effect is what basically? Loading effect is what? The transducer should have a high input impedance and low output impedance to avoid loading. Means input. In input side, we are having high impedance. Means whatever you want, give in the input. If impedance is there, you can avoid that one. And at the impedance at the output, we are having low, low impedance. We can pass anything. So we having the loading effect. So input having low impedance, high impedance, and output we having the low impedance. Understand? Okay. Now the environmental compatibility. The word environmental compatibility comes from environment. Now, which type of environment I have, the place we have where we want to install this transducer, where we want to put the this transducer. So we have to just look through the environment. it should be assured that the transducer selected to work under specified environmental conditions in a room temperature. For example, I use my transducer will work in the room temperature. So I always go for the room temperature. I always maintain my system in the room temperature, that in that environment the transducer can easily work. Okay, maintains it input output relationship and does not break down. If I'm changing some environment, if its input output relationship is breaking down, so it is not environmental compatibility. So environmental compatibility will be basically maintained, will be the selection factor. Third is the insensitivity to unwanted signals. Means I'm giving some error signals and it basically transmits that signal also with it. So insensitivity towards the unwanted signal. Unwanted means which we don't want. The unwanted is the opposite of wanted. So what I want is basically the signal, pure signal which I want. But now unwanted is which I don't want, is some error signals. So if I'm getting the error signal with my main signal, so I'm getting the abrupt reading, the false reading. So that is the basically give the false reading, and false reading means the efficiency will low down, will basically decrease. So what we have to do, the selection will be insensitive to unwanted signals. The transducer should be minimally sensitive to unwanted signal, are highly sensitive to desired signal. So which signal I want, that should be highly sensitive by, means the transducer should have highly sensitive regarding that signal. But if I am talking about the unwanted signal, so that transducer should be minimal sensitive, or we can say maximum unsensitive to the words. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, if I'm talking about the operating principle, next is the transducer selection factor is basically the operating principle. Now, if I'm talking about the operating principle, my dear student, if I'm talking about the operating principle, so transducer are mainly time select. Which time you want, at that time you use that transducer. On the basis of operating principle used by time. So which principle you want, which basically conversion you want, which transduction you want. As I earlier told you, 5 transduction are there: capacitive, inductive, piezoelectric, electromagnetic, and photovoltaic. So which type of transaction you want, so you have to use that transducer. If you want capacitive transaction but you are using inductive, so how it works? So operating principles, so you use which type you want. You are converting basically mechanical to electrical directly, so you go to the which active and primary transducer. Analog and digital, which reading you want, which thing you want, then go for it. But if you want for this, then this thing. Now the transducer are mainly time selected on the basis of operating principle used by them. Which principle you use by them? The operating principle used may be resistive, as I earlier told you, inductive, capacitive, optoelectronic, piezoelectric, and etc. So many things. So we having what? We having loading effect, environmental compatibility, insensitive to unwanted signal, and operating principle. So these all about the basically the section factor. Next we have measurement of displacement. If I want to measure the displacement, if I want to basically displacement measurement is here, because if we want to convert into displacement into electrical and whatever which form you want, so there are mainly two types of displacement. First is the translational displacement, another one is the rotational displacement. So translational displacement was, it is the motion of a body in a straight line between 2 points. For example, I have a 1 point, 2 point. If I am moving straight line like this, then we have the translational displacement. Translational displacement. Okay. Rotational displacement, it is a motion of angular type about some rotation axis. If I am moving something, so it is moving like this. So we are having the rotational displacement. But I'm moving like this, it is a translational. Moving like this, it is a rotation. So I hope you understand about the translational displacement. Straight line, translation, then we having some moving, that is rotation. I hope you understand this thing. Okay. Now these are the some multiple choice questions for you. As per my lecture, I told you about the types. So many types we have. Transducer is what? Transducer is basically converting one form of energy to another form. Usually Generally we you are using in the electrical. So electrical transducer we having active and passive. As per the transaction, we having capacitive, inductive, electromagnetic, piezoelectric, and photovoltaic transaction. Then we having analog and digital. Then we having what? Then we having what? Primary, no intermediate state, secondary, intermediate state. Then we having some certain characteristics. So many accuracy is there. Okay, sensitiveness is there. Repeatability is there. Range is there. Environmental conditions is there. Selections is also based on this. Then we having two types of displacement, transactional and rotating. So these all are about my lecture. But related to that, we having some multiple choice question for your testing purpose. First, electrical transducer generate. What it generate, you know. Mechanical transducer generate signals. Basically, the options are given: electrical signals, chemical signals, physical signals, biological signals. Then I having the question for you, that is electrical signal are easy to amplify. It's a statement true or false. So just you have to do. Function of transducer is to convert. Four options are given. Three options are given to you: electrical signal into non-electrical quantity, non-electrical quantity into the electrical signal into the mechanical quantity, and mentioned all means all of the above. You can say the transducer used for measurement are is maybe for one or more. Resting temperature detector, thermistor, ultrasonic, and mentioned all. Potentiometer transducer are used for measurement of pressure, displacement, humidity, A and B, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the MCQ for you. Then we having the strain gauge. Strain gauge is what, which type of device you have. Then we having the linear variable transformer transducer is for you, that is LVDT. For the measurement of pressure, instrument can be whatever it is. Constant is used for the measurement of dynamic strain. It is an alloy of which matter. Okay, so these are the some MCQs for you. Then these are the some reference books which I basically referred and I use. So Sani and Foster is a very good book. JB Gupta is also a good book. You can go through it. And Morris is again a good international author book. Is very good to understand, to basically read it. So you can just go through it. You can just read it. I hope you understand about the basic of transducer, about the types of transducer and their characteristic and then the selection. So later on, I'll tell you about the which transducer we can use in our system. But I hope you understand about the basics, types, and this all. So this is all about myself. So I hope you understand all this thing. So if you have any query, you can ask me. So thank you for listening. I hope you understand about the basics of transducer in my lecture, in this lecture of mine. Okay, it is all about from my side. Thank you. Thank you so much.